got no text of the score, so my husband is lame, so I'll figure it out at halftime. But I have been happy to be here with you guys. So your last comic tonight, I haven't seen her perform in such a long time, and she's becoming such a good friend. She's an amazing, amazing comic. So funny. Please give a warm welcome to her. Oh wait, what's her name? She's such a good friend. We're so close. Gretchen Whitney. Thanks, Melissa.
Oh, how you guys doing? Having a good time? I gotta look at you guys because like I was sitting behind you the whole night. So are you actually Dewey? I'm Dewey, but with me it's mainly KY and Flop Sweat. I've lived here a little while, moved here from Portland, Oregon, and for most of the time I've been here, I actually lived in Durham, which is taking a little bit of crap tonight. Durham's a great place, and it's actually the best thing I can say about Durham is that the people watching is unequal, right? So I'm eating lunch outside the other day. Kai comes walking down the street. He's wearing a t-shirt that says, "It's not going to suck itself." Probably true. But that made me start thinking, how does this come about? Does he wake up in the morning, put on the shirt, and say, "Today's the day. Today's the day I find the one woman in North Carolina who looks at this action and says, oh, that's hot." Because I tell you what, buddy, it's probably not going to suck itself for now. But developing personal flexibility may actually be your best option. Oh, so we do have a little bit of competition tonight. There's actually a number of comedy shows going on in the Triangle. There's a great show in Durham. There's an excellent show in Raleigh tonight. And then there's the elephant in the room. And you know, I didn't say anything to Michelle because I was really happy she invited me. I was so glad I would not have missed it. But kind of wanted to be there. And I think you know what I'm talking about. I don't even know if I need to say it, but I'm talking about your local regulated and sanctioned cat show. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, we're all the same, right? Every Saturday night. I'm sorry, just so I'm clear, is that not the case? Just so I understand, is it not the case that on most Saturday nights you're spending it at a local regulated and sanctioned cat show? Wait, hey, you know what? Teachable moment. This is a teachable moment. I'm going to explain to you briefly why you should be attending your local regulated and sanctioned cat show and what you're going to see when you get there. When you walk into that cat show, you're going to be in a decrepit ballroom in a run-down hotel in the outskirts of town. You're going to walk in. To your left, you'll see 4 or 5 gay men. It's called a gaggle. Don't worry about it. Look to the right. You'll see 300, maybe 400 post-menopausal white women in applique sweatshirts. So for most of you, Carrboro, it's going to be like looking at your mother through a kaleidoscope. But this is where it gets good. So listen up. They're going to hand you, as you walk into that ballroom, a slip of paper. And on that slip of paper will be the instructions that you must follow when a cat escapes. When a cat escapes, you are to raise your hand and the entire room in unison will shout, "Cat out!" Then you drop to your knees and look for, but do not approach or attempt to apprehend the wayward kitty. We leave that to the professionals. When the cat is once again ensconced in its iron cage, again the cry goes up, "Cat caught!" I said, that sounds good, but how likely is that to actually happen? Oh, honey, 4 times in a half hour. It was one of the greatest nights of my life, and I have seen Johnny Cash live. Let me once again assure you, if you are looking for a family-friendly activity that combines fervent militarism with a strong sense of urine, check it out. Your local regulated and sanctioned cat show. You'll be glad you did. When I'm not attending cat shows, I do travel a lot for work. I travel about 50% of the time. And I tried to, give myself good gifts. Flying Economy Plus, get a little plug. It's very nice. But despite my efforts, at the end of every flight, I'm tired, cranky, and pissed off. And the stewardess, flight attendant, who has been working the whole time, is fresh as a daisy. She's a silent. And I imagine this, I just look at her and I think, how do you keep it up? I think, do you take this home? Are you like this at home? Because when I think about a flight attendant at home, here's what I imagine. Hi, honey, come in, take any seat is fine. Please do take a seat. Take a seat, any seat is fine. Sit anywhere you like. We're behind schedule. I'd like to ask you to take off your shoes and put them under the couch. Under the couch, under the couch. Shoes do go under the couch, and let me give you a little tip. They fit better if you put them in toes first. I'd like to ask you to set aside your iPad and newspaper as I give you a little bit of information about this home. This house is a 1990 model, approximately 1,600 square feet, and featuring a screen door that still slams after 4 years of me asking you to fix it. Yeah. This house also includes 3 children who can be found upstairs and in the backyard. If at any point you find you are unable or unwilling to perform your parental duties, we'll be happy to receive you at your mother's house. I will be serving beer and wine this evening. If you find yourself in a full upright and locked position with some heavy personal baggage, I'll be happy to direct it into my tricky lower compartment. Good night, honey. Good night, love you. Good night. Just what I imagine. So I travel a lot. I've got 2 kids. I have a lot to do, getting very stressed out, very overwhelmed, and I talked to a friend about it, and she said, what you need to do is make lists. I said, well, what do you mean? I know what I have to do. She said, no, make lists of everything you need to plan, break it down into smaller tasks. It's going to calm you down. Does anyone do this? Yeah, she does? You knew this about her? Well, I did it, and it worked. It was actually really, really centering. I started simple. I made a list of the board games that sound like the orgasms of men I've slept with. So far, I have Yahtzee, Jenga, and Sorry. Because I do travel so much, I'm on the global entry list. I just got approved for global entry. Do you guys know what this is?
Yes.
Okay, so you know what it is. Anyone else? She's the sole knowledge keeper. Are you on it? You are? They let you in? No? Well, they just let me in. And so what it does is it lets you through the TSA pre-line, you get through security, you get through customs really quickly, and you have to pay money, they do a background check, you come and do a government interview, and they take your fingerprints. So I did this the other day. Now, let me start by saying I was a little confused by the name, because global entry, to me, brings back memories of either my sexual policy in college or a very cosmopolitan strip club. But we'll leave that as it is. I'm in the interview, and so first of all, the TSA and the Border Patrol are not the same thing. Did you guys know that? You didn't. I have no idea either. They are not only different groups, they have very different personalities. I had maybe a 5-minute interview with these 2 guys. In those 5 minutes, I learned from the TSA guy that he was married to a 4'10" French woman with huge tits. I was told this in a government interview. From the Border Patrol guy, I learned only that he doesn't find jokes about arrest records to be very funny. However, a shiny $50 bill perks up everyone's day, and I wasn't ready. You know what I like to say? I like to say Benedict Cumberbatch. You know? I mean, I don't even know who he is. He's Sherlock. Benedict Cumberbatch. Lupita Nyong'o. It's like that you can chew on those names. It's like you can eat them. They're like the beef jerky of nomenclature, right? Although Benedict Cumberbatch is a little bit like a pubic merkin that like an old British man would wear getting out of the tub. But I love him. And there's a lot of people on the air now that have wonderful, wonderful names. Now, I don't know you guys have ever figured out what your stripper name is, but those are great things. This is an old meme. Anyone know what their stripper name is? Come on. I'll tell you. I'll share this with you. Your stripper name is simply the first pet you remember having and the first street you remember living on. So my stripper name is Tiffany Tremont. Pretty good name. I'm like a high-class escort, right? My husband's stripper name, Fritz Tomahawk, which is very unappropriate. All right, you've had enough time. Who's got a good stripper name? I want a good one. Don't waste my time. Yeah, you right there. Sister, loud and proud.
Pooper Anderson.
Wait, Pooper Anderson?
Pooper.
Pooper? Pooper? With the two P's like I'm doing them right now? Right, I got that part. Anyone else? Anyone? One of the guys. Pooper. Who's going to go up against Pooper? How about you, sir, with the folded arms? I mean, you're thinking. No? Nothing? He can't remember. But, you know what? I realize why the rest of you are coming up with one. I'm in Carrboro. That's a bastion of intellectualism. You guys don't want to hear about sex. You don't want to hear about stripper names. You want to know what your NPR correspondent name is. Right? Yes. These people have amazing names. Christian Fodenwetzel. Amphibia Quist Arcton. Audie Cornish. If that doesn't sound like a delicious dumpling, I don't know what does. Yuki Noguchi, whose name, BTW, translates to Japanese tickle sex. True story. Well, I got good news for you people. Figuring out your NPR correspondent name is super, super simple. Obviously, much simpler for you than the exercise that we recently tailed. I want you to think about one of your grandparents' names and the elementary school you attended. So for me, I'm Marguerite Exton, reporting to you from Cary, North Carolina. You've had enough time. Who's got an NPR correspondent name they want to shout out? And I don't want to hear about poop again. Anyone? You there? Yes?
Cordelia Rosman.
Oh! Now, wouldn't you listen to a report she gave on Syria? I would. Cordelia Rosman. Indeed. So here's the thing. I know you want to roll this out at your next cocktail party. That's fine. But what I want to warn you about is twofold. The first is we have a lot of transplants to North Carolina. You may easily find that someone reports that his NPR correspondent name is Shmuel PS321. So be on the lookout for that. Secondly, this party game does require that you have attended elementary school, which may knock out those of you from Johnson County. Word to the wise. What else? What have I been doing lately? One of the more interesting trips I took recently was to my high school reunion. And it was fun. It was nice. As the evening wore on and we got more drunk, more maudlin, we kind of turned into Muppets. I'll tell you what I mean. Our smiles turned into these flapping creases, and our eyes just seemed to go from the centers of our head just ever so slightly over to the sides. But the memory that stayed with me of that night was the fact that it reminded me more than anything of senior prom and a prom night. And I'll share with you that for me, as for many young ladies, prom night was a big night. Prom night was the night that I lost my purse. I lost my purse, actually, to Carry On My Wayward Son by Kansas. It wasn't a stellar moment. And so, as I have done this entire set without much success, I want to give you the time to tell me. Oh, and actually, you know what? I don't want to keep this to just women. That's not fair. That's not fair. There were a lot of young men that night at prom who lost their wallets. Or even worse than that, who thought they lost their wallet, but had it handed back to them and were told to hang on to it a little bit longer. But for those of you lucky enough to lose your purse or wallet, what song was it to? I trust most of you have had sex.
Roxanne
Graceland.
The police.
That was all the same woman. I know you're embarrassed and you don't remember. He doesn't remember. Is the thing, right? Or you're embarrassed. But look, I've gone to the trouble. I've saved you the trouble of figuring out what the worst songs are to lose your purse to. I came up with 3. I came up with "Crying" by Roy Orbison, "Cats in the Cradle" by Harry Chapin, or any song featuring a chorus sung by a children's choir. So you need to feel pretty good about that. One more thing I want to tell you about before I go. I bitch about my job a lot. It's a lot of travel. It's very stressful, yada, yada. I've been interviewing a lot. And interviewing is weird. This is so hot.
I don't know why.
You're not that tall, Melissa. You always do this and you look exactly like you know what you're doing. I know. Is this going to drop? It's going to drop.
That's what she said.
All right. You like that most of anything tonight. All right. So I've been interviewing, and interviewing has... Oh, this is hard.
That's what she said.
You guys come up here next month. That's for sure. All right. Interviewing has gotten weird. It's changed. I was asked a question the other day. I want you to think on your feet. If your body were a car, what would it be? And I said, my body would be a Prius. It would be a Prius. It's fairly quiet. It's a little bigger in the back than it is in the front. And it has never had a Republican inside it.